Well, I'm finally on my way back to good old Karl, and guess what? I don't only have a little puppy with me, but also a new crew member. Mark.
¿Ya está? ¡Ya estás! ¡Ya estamos en Costa Rica! No, eso es muy importante.
Looks like Karl has some famous neighbors. Looks like it's probably Revival next to us on the dock.
How's it going? Nice to meet you. How are you? So cool.
Hello, Jamie. Nice to meet you.
Atención, primera toma de contacto.
I was a little worried whether little Boga would enjoy being on a boat, but it seems that she feels right at home. When I came back from Germany after leaving the boat for about 6-7 months, there was no mold at all. Everything was fairly clean and not even very smelly. Just had to air out a little bit and clean, obviously, but yeah, no mold. Actually, since I had resealed the windows in Shelter Bay, the whole mold topic was sort of gone, which is really impressive. I think it was really just because of the windows leaking so much. And the bilge was dry, so there was no humidity inside, which is pretty neat. But because the boat has been, wow, yeah, I think probably 10 months now here in Marina Bahia Golfito, the outside of the boat is looking a little bit rough. So my new crew, Mark, is gonna give a hand and give a little clean, which is awesome. Wax on, wax off. And whilst Mark is cleaning the deck a little bit, I'm gonna take a dive into the engine room because that's something I haven't checked yet since I'm back from Germany. And the engine has been without running for a while. And I've been sort of postponing it for a bit. I think everything is gonna be super fine, but you know my past with engines, not with this one, but with my old one. So it's always a bit of a situation to open up the engine room after a while. I think I should be swapping out these ones, maybe, since it's kind of important. I don't know, this sounds weird. Maybe just because it hasn't been running for a while, but it's definitely going quite hard. I turned the shaft and it sounds really bizarre and it goes really hard. So, I'm not sure you hear that. That's definitely not normal. So, I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe that's the cutlass bearing. Maybe better to dive down and take a look from the outside before I throw it into gear. I dove down to clean the propeller and the shaft a little bit, but everything seemed quite alright, except that the propeller has a bit of corrosion going on, which is not so great. Probably I just have to throw the engine in gear and run it for a bit to smoothen things out a little. Unfortunately, my starting battery seems to be dead and not holding any charge, so for now I'll bridge it with my Dakota lithium house batteries to get the engine running, and then look for a new starter battery. Alrighty, just checking that there's no leaks and that water is flowing nicely, but all seems to be pretty good so far. Nice. Another project that is best to be done in the marina is to mark your anchor chain and to swap the chain around, so the part that's usually inside the anchor locker is now dangling into the water. Craig from Floating Serious and Colin from Parley Revival came by for a little beer break, and Colin even brought his camera and made some footage about our In Motion project that he put into one of his episodes, which was really awesome. Thanks so much for that. They left a couple of days after, and I had hoped to meet them along the coast of Costa Rica at some point, but they were traveling a lot faster than I did, so unfortunately that never happened. One thing that I don't like about Karl is the wooden railing that they put on the boat, and I don't really understand why they did it, because why would you put a lot of holes into aluminum hull to put some wood on it if you could just like weld a half pipe to it? That has the same effect, but you know, it doesn't cause corrosion and doesn't let any water come in. And I have been thinking about taking this off so many times, but the problem is that the boat from the inside is insulated with styrofoam, so I would have to take out everything to have access to the bolts on the other side. And if I just cut them, then I'm afraid that they're going to fall down into the bilge and then sit in the bilge and start causing corrosion. So I have not really been wanting to do that. So right now we're just going to fix it one more time, and then I'm going to think about what to do with this. Well, if you have any good suggestions for a solution with this stupid rail, then please let me know in the comments. Hey there! Welcome! You might remember that we did a crowdfunding in December 2021 to outfit 8 sailboats with portable small-scale recycling machines so that these sailboats can recycle ocean plastic during their voyages, and also to spread the word about the potential of small-scale plastic recycling for remote coastal communities. So, guess what? One of our fleet members has just pulled into Marina Bahia Golfito and is just 2 slips down from Karl. You might know them, they're slightly famous, and their boat is called Delos. Hey!
Alrighty, so now I am on SV Delos. Can't believe it. We've been talking, I don't know, like 8-9 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time. We finally meet you.
Yeah, it's really nice to meet you in person finally, and yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your crew here on SV Delos. Who are you, where you're from, and where you're cruising.
Yeah, so right now we're in Panama. No, we're not.
No, we're not in Panama
Right
anymore.
now, we're in Costa Rica. We just arrived in here a couple of days ago, and we ran into Nika. And it's me, Karen, Brian, my husband, and our daughter Sierra, and our friend Jordan that is behind.
Hola!
We all live on Delos, and I've been sailing for like maybe 8 years now, or 9 years. Brian a little bit longer, but yeah, we're just sailing around the world and loving it. You know, wherever you're sailing, we see so much plastic, and it's just no way to kind of deal with it in a way, right? Like, you see it on the beach, like, even if we collect it, bring it on board, and then bring it to the next town, it's gonna end up in the landfill or get burnt anyway.
Yeah, there's just no infrastructure.
So I think I think that's why we felt so strongly about this project. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to get the machine and to get started on like creating things and to be able to I think what I'm really stoked about is also like what you mentioned with the making things that are like specifically from boats. Yeah, I love the earrings and I love like stuff like that, but just to be able to make like zip ties and
it's nice to have something practical that's usable that will actually, you know, this is nice stuff to have jewelry and stuff like that, but I think it's important for people to see that you can make useful things and you can actually substitute things that are usually made out of virgin plastic with recycled plastic. But
I'm amazed too about how like small it is. I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger.
No, and the shredder is about yay big as well. It's not bigger than that, and that's why this is going to be a big game changer. And you can just toss them into the dinghy and then drive them around, show them to people, and you know, spread the word. And even just storing them on the boat. Yeah, it's great. You have a space for them already? Where
Yes.
you gonna put them? Ooh. I don't. Mine is still like sitting in my salon area. Yeah.
That's cool.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, and thanks for everyone who donated for this project, making it happen. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. And yeah, I think together, like if we all work together, we can, you know, make change happen, and I think that's very beautiful. For sure.
Thank you guys.
Unfortunately, the manufacturing of the recycling machines had taken a lot longer than we had planned, which is why by the time that I met Delos, they did not have their own machines yet. But by now, machines have been delivered to Delos and also to Sailing Catalpa, to Sail Joanna, the Cruising Kiwis, and to Project Manaya. But enough about all that recycling. Way more importantly, I made it onto the Wall of Fame. Luckily, there was no cameras involved when we all went out to Martina's bar and had a couple of drinks. So there's at least no camera proof for my potential for the Wall of Shame.
We're gonna go and get some groceries because we're gonna leave the marina. But before we go to pick up the groceries, we're gonna go over to this awesome catamaran over there and give them a help to push them into the water. That catamaran is actually made from wood, and I think they've been up in the part there for about 8 months now. They were here already when I came back from Germany, and I think their cross beams were rotten, so they had to replace all of that. They had to do a lot of work on the boat and on the hull, and they're about to go back into the water, and they need a tiny little push to get off the land. And I think Bora's really excited to go there because she has a friend over there called Lucy. That's their little dog that they have. So she's gonna have a little play date whilst we push some boats around. Woo, Bogie! You found your friend! ¿Todo bien?
Muy bien.
Oh, how excited are you to go back into the water?
Super excited.
What's the major work you did on her?
We replaced the cross beams, we took connecting the two hulls, 5 of them, and we had to take out all the deck for it, including kitchen, electricity, deck, generator. I think she's at least a ton lighter right now.
And what's your plans once you're in the water?
Cross Pacific.
Sweet.
Well, we'll finish first. We don't have a kitchen yet, we don't have electricity yet.
The cross beams are just held by ropes?
Yeah, the 2 hulls are connected with 5 cross beams, and each one has 4 lashings, and those 18 ropes hold the whole thing together.
So why are they connecting the beams with the ropes?
So it stays flexible and it's cheap and easy.
Isn't that cheap?
I hear a little bit of doubt here on this side about the cheapness. Ooh, brand new paint.
We all gave a good push and the catamaran was afloat again. I sure know that great feeling after such a long time on the hard to have your boat in the water again. Unfortunately, it seems they never did get to go on their adventure, because I think there was just an episode on the tube where Mark from Worldling Sailing was taking a look at this particular boat and it was for sale.
Well, now we just finished a couple of last projects. We just have to fuel up. We bought groceries, so we're all good to go. And we're just gonna go about 6-7 miles, heading out into the Golfo Dulce, and then taking a ride, taking a turn to starboard, and then anchor in that little bay next door, just because the boat hasn't been running in a long time. And I just want to make sure that everything is good before we make any bigger moves away from, away from what? Safety. I mean, it's not that a marina is super safe, but yeah, at least you can get a little bit of support here. Alrighty, and that's it. We're supposed to be leaving in an hour, and Karl still looks like he's sort of set up for camping. I just need to lash down the jerry cans, and I'm gonna take up Blue right now. Alright, everything looks good. Looks like we're ready to go. I'm a little excited. Hello. Ooh. It's been like nearly a year that I've been out, and being away from the boat for a while always brings back some anxiety issues, unfortunately, but I'm sure once I'm off the dock it'll be all good and fine.